What constitutes an appropriate earmark request?
I don't think there is one. I think there's a clause in the Constitution that requires the federal government to spend money equally among the states, or to equal benefit. That's why I think these things that they're putting into the health care bill, like the Nebraska, whatever they're calling it, the Louisiana Purchase, I think they're unconstitutional, flat out bribes. There's a phrase, instead of trying to get the pork in Washington, why don't you just keep the pig at home? I'll give you, for instance, in the House version of the health care bill, for instance, there is a surtax that's being proposed that is supposed to raise $50 billion per year by taxing the wealthy. Well, there was a study done that basically looked at the economic impact of all 435 districts in the House and how much that surtax would impact each specific district. That one tax alone would hit Fairfield County, 17 towns, for about $1.5 billion a year. That's 3% of the total tax revenue raised by this bill. Out of 435 districts, that's a little much. Now, if you look at the 4 other districts around New York City, Westchester, Upper East Side, Upper West Side, and a district in Northern Jersey, combined, it's going to be almost $10 billion a year. So 20% of the tax burden for this bill would come out of 5 districts in the metro area. That's outrageous. And the benefit that we're going to get from that is minuscule at most.
Would you vote for a bill that was very unpopular with your constituents?
Depends on the bill. Again, I go back to the slavery question. If the federal government decided that it wanted to promote slavery, and constituents said, let's go, I would vote.
So what is your guiding principle in that case, where there's a dispute between something in popularity from your constituents and other interests that would cause you to vote for something?
I'd look at what's in the Constitution, frankly. Opinions change over time. I think the role of a congressman in particular is you've got to protect what's there. And if there's something that a state particularly wants, let the state pass that legislation and let that be a burden or an opportunity borne by the citizens of that state. My job going to Congress is to help restrict the expansion of government. So you know what? You're starting to get into our territory. You're in too much of our lives already. Let's scale that back. And if something is not constitutional, block it at every chance. Now, I'll give you another instance on that. Let's say there's a preponderance of somebody who wants health care. They want this health care bill. You could say that polling is impacted by special interest groups. You could say it's impacted by people that don't really understand the ramifications of the bill, that they don't really know what that's going to do to the delivery mechanism, to the costs, to the current jobs that we have in that industry. And if that misinformation is out there, and I believe it's in the best interest of the people to fight that bill, I'll fight that bill. Sometimes popular opinion isn't right.
What is your opinion of czars being named without vetting or oversight by Congress?
Totally against it. It's a violation of separation of powers, and I think it's a power grab by the executive office. Nothing short of that. These people they're not vetted, they're not answerable to anyone, and they're trying to put forth these edicts that I think are completely contrary to who we are.
Can I ask a question? Why do you think Congress is not screaming about this? Why are they going along with it? Besides the fact that he's their guy, but it takes their power away.
Well, I think one hand washes the other. I think the Republicans are making as much noise as they can, but they're not getting the attention, frankly. And I think they're just trying to stay afloat and fighting the legislation that's in front of them.
The Democrats?
Well, the Democrats, they're part of the problem. you know, it's been party line votes on all of these horrendous pieces of legislation. You know, take cap and trade, for instance, which is nothing but a tax on everything that you do at a time when our country is in one of the worst recessions ever. They're buying into this and pushing it through. Now, in the meantime, the EPA has come back, unprecedented move, and they said, if you don't do something about carbon, we're going to do it for you. Since when does a bureaucracy in government tell the Congress what to do? That these guys have to go.
Other than the free market capitalist system, what do you believe is the source of our nation's strength?
People. American exceptionalism is what it comes down to. You know, it's when the Pilgrims came, there was nothing here, and we forged a life. There's no public safety net, there was no Social Security, there was no education system, no transportation, there was nothing. And not only did we forge a life, but then we had to fight for that freedom. And what it instilled in us, and what the people that came here brought with them, were dreams of something better. Our morality, our courage, our convictions, the hopes that we have, the idea that you can create anything you want and be anything you want. You don't get that anywhere else. And that, I think that gives us something that is unique in all the world. I don't see other countries with the type of immigration problems that we have. No one's trying to jump the fence and go into Venezuela. They're trying to come here because we have the highest standard of living in the world.
Rob, what do you believe is the federal government's role in regulation and funding of abortion, gay marriage, and medical marijuana?
Again, I don't think they should be in any of that. My position, as everyone knows, I'm pro-life, I'm pro-family, I'm pro-gun. I think true conservative values are what's needed, but at the same time, I don't believe the federal government should be making those decisions. I think that's a state issue, and the Fed shouldn't be involved at all. It's a waste of taxpayer money.
May I? I am personally appalled that the state of Connecticut is a gay marriage state. I'm appalled that our legislatures had nothing to say about it. The people had no vote. It was done by the court system. How can that happen? It would go back to the question about our constituency. What they wanted had absolutely no ring in what actually took place. And I've written to the governor, and I'm appalled by what the state did to us. Okay.
How long do you want me to talk on this one?
Yes, thank you.
I could write a book.